Hi there. I'd like to talk with you today about Ruby on Rails and routing. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Abel Martin. I've been a software engineer for 16 years, with the last 11 of those years focused in the Rails world. But let's go back to our topic. What are routes in Rails? Well, consider traveling. The routes we use to get to a location. If you're on a trip, you have a starting position. You then have to take actions like driving, biking, or walking to get to your destination. In Rails, our starting position might be your browser and application. You will take an action, such as entering a URL, clicking on a link or a button, or hitting enter while you're focused on a form. And you'll get to a desired result or destination, such as visiting a page or submitting your form or deleting an email, for instance. All these are actions, and they are all connected to the request the user is sending to our application. All these requests will execute HTTP verbs like get, post, and delete. And in Rails, routes are URLs that have HTTP verb awareness. But listen, enough talk. There's a lot of talk that's been happening so far. Let's get to the button pressing, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Here, and let's jam over to here, right? So here we find ourselves in our routes file for our sample project. And here we'll see two items within the routes drawing block. The first word of these routes is always a method. So on line 2, we have the resources method that's responsible for creating a plethora of conventional routes relating to this resource. More on this later. On the fourth line, we have the route method that's responsible for assigning the homepage route, aka the thing that you'll see when you visit localhost 3000 in your browser while you're working on your home machine. When you actually deploy this out to production, this will be the route that you'll hit when you go to your domain. But now let's actually make our own routes for things. And I literally mean things. Let's say we wanted to create a route to see all of the quote unquote things in our project. The expected location for that route would look a little like this, right? / things. But how do we make that? To do that, we would need to do the following. We would say get, which is a verb that we're respecting, things, plural. We'll have to go to our controller. And in this case, it will be the things controller. And now we need to hit the action that we need. And in this case, it'll be index, like so. And we got to make sure to save. The important thing here is that for sites and APIs that allow RESTful conventions, the index action will give you a collection of all of your resources, right? With that said, we can now jump back over to our browser, back over to our demo project. We'll now jump to the back of this. We'll hit up things like so, and we can actually see all of the thing records that are currently in our project. Nice and easy. The important thing here is for us to notice how the last thing in our project is ID 4. Okay. Now let's create a route to allow us to create a thing. So instead of using the get verb, this time we'll use the post verb. But we'll still say things, because again, this is a convention. This also will be going to our things controller. But the action this time, will be our create action. Okay? And in addition to creating the route, we now need to literally post to the route. Posting can happen in your application a number of ways, via form submission or an AJAX call, or it can also happen from a third-party application sending a post. In this case, that's exactly what we're going to do using this HTTP client. So here, as you can see, this is the route we're going to be posting to. Here's the payload that we'll be sending. It'll be a name of fifth thing. Its value will be 1001 cents. And when we click on send, we can see that this got created and now it is on ID 5, right? We can also jump back to our browser, reload this page, and see this new posted object, okay? Rails also comes with the ability to view all of the routes inside of your application. So we can also go to localhost 3000 / Rails / info, hit enter, and here are all the routes in our app. We can do one more thing, which is do a little bit of a query and check out all the things that match the word things in our routes file. And indeed, we can see both our post and our get that's present here in our routes page. Last but not least, what we can do is also jam back over to here. We can clear out the two routes we just created. Instead, let's leverage the resources method for our things. Hit save, jump back, reload, and see that things indeed now has all of these fantastic routes, all respecting the various HTTP verbs related to what these routes should be doing inside of our application. And for another view of that, we can see that here. Let's wrap this thing up, shall we? So, in conclusion, Rails is a RESTful framework. The Rails routes are HTTP verb aware. Getting things versus posting things will perform different actions. Last but not least, you can visit localhost 3000 /Rails/info to view all the routes in your application. Thanks so much. If you have any thoughts or questions, you can find me here on linkedin.com /in/Abel Martin. Have a great night. Take care.